Apple is going all in on this mini LED garbage, and I do not care about it. But Ming-Chi Kuo, who has a decent track record, is giving us details on all of the devices Apple is experimenting on putting this technology into, and I thought I would detail them for you because it gets me a little bit excited, just a little bit, but overall scared. Let's begin. Okay, so previously, Ming-Chi Kuo said that Apple was working on 2 different devices with mini LED tech. For those who don't know, the first mini LED display developed by Apple was in the Pro Display XDR, you know, that thing that was universally liked by everyone, especially the stand. Well, apparently they're so happy with the feedback they got from that, which on a more honest note was very lukewarm. Everyone was like, yeah, I mean, if you're not into color accuracy, it's really color accurate. And if you are into color accuracy, it's actually not very good. But all that aside, they want to use versions of that technology in essentially all of their products now except the iPhone. I think with the iPhone and the Apple Watch, they're kind of comfortable with OLED displays, but they're probably seeing that mini LED allows a lot of that OLED benefits of dynamic range and true dark blacks, because that's a huge problem we have with displays. But it makes more sense on these other devices because it doesn't have burn-in, and they can kind of move the development of it a little bit away from Samsung. But what's interesting about this report is the sheer number of devices that are in development, only 2 or 3 of which are expected to come out this year. So this is a little bit bizarre, but hang with me here. Kuo says Apple is working on a new iPad Pro, of course, which we've talked about in the past, that will have mini LED displays, but this is not one coming out potentially like at the end of this month. He's saying that one's coming out in like the fall of 2020, which is weird because there's supposed to be new iPad Pros coming like in a matter of weeks, but Kuo is saying there's also going to be another one later in the year, so kind of weird, I know. But the second one I'm very excited for was he said they're working on a 27-inch iMac Pro that will also be incorporating this technology, and that one's expected to launch at the very end of this year. So this is the first report in a long time that Apple's actually working on a refresh, an actual update to the iMac Pro, and all you do is mini LED? Stupid, the color blue has to look a certain type of blue. Yeah, just if you're gonna take stuff from the Pro Display XDR and bring it to the iMac line, can you at least shrink the bezels? That's all I care about. I don't care about the dynamic range. Now I'm scared because I'm worried that the next iMac Pro is gonna cost, $12,000 because it has this mini LED crap in it. But if the bezels are thin, okay, cool. But the third one that has a lot of people interested is they're working on a 14-inch MacBook Pro, which of course all of us wanted to see ever since Apple dropped the 16-inch MacBook Pro. They're like, please take all of this tech, put it into something smaller, more importantly cheaper, and then we would buy that one. And this is the first time we've heard of it, especially from a credible leaker, that Apple's actually considering doing that. So glad to hear that is the case. But they're also working on introducing this technology on a 10.2-inch iPad and a 7.9-inch iPad mini. So the iPad mini has always been targeted at kind of more of a concentrated audience of, we don't need the iPad to be very big and we can save money that way. So that's why I'm confused about this report, incorporating mini LED. My guess is there's some type of cheaper, more efficient use of mini LED technology that they're hoping to implement across this whole lineup because, there's no way they're shrinking that Pro Display tech into something as thin as a MacBook. And what's interesting is Kuo says the 7.9-inch iPad mini will be available this year. We're also getting reports of the iPad mini getting Pro Display tech, which sounds off. But again, Kuo knows his stuff, especially when it comes to the Pro Display. He knew before everybody else the exact size of the Pro Display XDR. He knew the exact resolution months and months and months before they actually unveiled it. So when it comes to knowing about display technology that's coming up in supply chains, he's kind of the guy, he knows that stuff. So I'm inclined to believe him. There's a lot of this stuff that we're not going to probably see within 2020. A lot of this will likely get delayed until 2021, but the one I'm most excited for now is hearing Kuo say that there is a new iMac Pro coming, and if it's coming with this new revolutionized display tech, my hope is that we can finally get a new look of this iMac. I'm happy that they're working on a 14-inch MacBook Pro. That'll be cool, probably really popular, but I just have to wonder if moving everything over from LCD to mini LED, is it gonna cost us a lot? And is it gonna be something we're all asking for? Given Macs typically have their displays on for long periods periods of time. I get why Apple probably didn't want to incorporate OLED across everything because that's more prone for burn-in and maybe it's not giving the contrast ratios or price points that they're happy with, so mini LED is like this happy middle ground for them. But I'm very curious to know your guys' thoughts on Apple's adoption across the lineup. Apparently this is going to be their new standard. I just hope it doesn't come with massive price hikes. So feel free to let me know what you're thinking over on Twitter. Join my Discord. What would you like to see in the next generation iMac Pro? I did a whole wish list on that, so feel free to check that out. This is your Apple Sheep here. I'll see you guys in the next one.